the book of tzephania, three-chapter book, short book, not studied very much. Dvar Adonai Shirayel Tzephania ben Kushi ben Gedalia ben Amaria ben Chizkiah bimei Yoshiyahu ben Amon Melech Yehuda. So this is the word of God that came to Tzephania. And we don't know much about Tzephania, but we're told about his lineage. He was a son of Kushi, son of Gedalia, son of Amaria, son of Chizkiah, and this was during the time of Yoshiyahu, the king. If you remember Yoshiyahu, one of the great kings, two great kings towards the end of the first temple period, the latter half, of course, we're talking about kingdoms of the Davidic dynasty. By this time, the northern kingdom, the kingdom of Ephraim, has disappeared, has been destroyed. Yoshiyahu and Chizkiah. Chizkiah was the first great king, and that's during the Assyrian revolt. And later, closer to the time of the destruction of Beit HaMikdash, we have Yoshiyahu, who is the king who becomes king very young and doesn't know anything. And the Sefer Torah is found during his time period, and it's opened up to the curses, and he is greatly affected and begins this great return to God. Okay, so that's when that's where he is. Now, what's his book going to be about? We'll see. Asef kol me'al pnei ha'adama ne'um Adonai. I will sweep away. Lasof is to sweep, to gather. I'll gather away everything from the face of the earth, says God. Asef Adam uvehema, Asef of hashamayim udge hayam, v'mach shelot et harishayim v'chot sweep away animals. And a pretty great destruction. How is this going to happen? Okay, I guess these are the problems when you're, 7,000 miles away. If I get disconnected again, just stay on. Hopefully, I'll get put right back on. I didn't push anything. Just, So I will. Right. So I'm also going to stretch my hands again. Let's see. Oh, hello, Yakira. How are you? I'm in the midst of teaching. Where's the internet better in your house?
What Wi-Fi are you connected to?
Joseph Home, I think.
5 or just Joseph Home?
I don't know.
Sorry.
That's okay.
That's connected to Joseph Home 5.
I just keep getting pulled off of the Zoom. So
where's the Wi-Fi?
Hello.
This is my friend Abby. Hello.
Hi, Abby.
Kubietsky.
This is my niece.
Hi.
Yakira Gittler. She's putting me on the better internet now.
It work better. And
anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, Abby.
Okay. Technical difficulties. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me? Yes or no?
Yes. But is there another name for
I
Tzephania?
can't hear you, but maybe you can hear me. Okay.
Oh.
You're going to get the full tour of my brother's house, I guess. Okay. Just trying to figure out which light is which, where's where. Sorry. Okay. All right. I don't know if you guys are muted. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? What are you saying?
Can you hear us now?
Okay.
Yes, we
Hopefully
can hear
you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, because I don't know. Okay. So I don't know what's going on. Whatever. Forget that. I don't care about the recording right now. I'm just going to go back to where the book is. So we're in the midst of verse 4, Pasuk Dalet, right? So God says he's going to stretch his arm against Yehuda and Yerushalayim, wiping out the entire place. I guess the Zoom didn't like that because it kept erasing us before we could say that. The Chrati min hamakom hazeh char haba'al et shem hakmarim im hakohanim. I'm going to wipe away any remnant of Baal and any of the young priests along with the priests. Ve'et hamishtachadim al haganot litzvah hashamayim. It's a word that we know, right? Mishtachadim, like in Aleinu. And those who bow down on the roofs to the stars of the sky. Ve'et hamishtachadim anishpaim ladonai v'anishpaim b'malkam. And those who bow down and swear to God, but they also swear to Malkam. Malkam here doesn't mean like a melech, it means a king. It's a type of idolatry. It's a type of pagan deity. I can't say that I know exactly what type of it is. There are those who say it has to do with maybe the Ammonites, but okay. Continuing in verse 6. And those who, ignore God, and those who do not mivakesh, those who don't stretch, don't seek, don't look after God, those who don't inquire of God. So tzephania says here, right, over and over again, destruction is coming. Now, what's the backdrop? What's happening here? So therefore, be quiet. Has means to be silent. Be quiet before the Lord God, because the day of God is approaching. We've talked about this in different prophecies. There's some who say, the day of God sounds like a great thing. There are others who seems like more like a medieval painting, the rapture and those things and destruction that's happening everywhere, because God has prepared a sacrificial feast. And he has told those who are going to be there to get themselves ready, to sanctify, to purify themselves. That's what God is saying is going to happen. And what does this mean? So presumably, it means destruction is going to happen. That's the appointed day, the destruction of the evil enemies, and that's what we're told in this verse. We're in verse 8. And on that day, I'll punish the officials and the king's son and all those who wear clothing that is foreign clothing. So here, I remember years ago when they went from double-breasted suits to like 3-button suits, if you remember that. Then if you were in the NBA draft, there were like 6-button suits. But then there was like this word around Yeshiva University that some of the rabbis said that the 3-button suits were prohibited because it was like non-Jewish Gentile clothing. So this is not talking about something like that, which of course sounds completely absurd and ridiculous. But because why would a 3-button suit be more non-Jewish than a double-breasted suit? But this is talking presumably about some sort of wearing. We'll call it. It's like wearing a cross would probably be the way to say it. Nothing wrong with a Christian wearing a cross. There's you could say it's not so good for a Jew to wear a cross. This is some sort of presumably idolatrous clothing that's being worn, and that's why God is so upset about it. It's not about a 3-piece suit or if you wear a sweatshirt or whatever. We're in verse 9, Pasuk I'll punish on that day everybody who steps over the threshold, who fills their master's palace with lawlessness, with Hamas, and with fraud. So it's not clear exactly. There are those who say what this refers to is, what does it mean? So it refers to the palaces of idolatry as well. And back in Book of Shmuel, it talked about that one of the customs in the of the Philistine god Dagon, which is it a sea god? Is it like the word Dag? Is it some sort of granary god like the Hebrew word Dagan? But it talks about how the priests of Dagon wouldn't jump in certain ways. And so it's referring to that, going all the way back to, if you remember, a long time ago when the ark was taken, when the Philistines defeated the Jews in the beginning of the book of Shmuel, way back before the first temple, way back when the Jews' temple was in Shiloh. So those who say it's referring to that. Continue verse 10. On that day, there's just going to be crying and screaming from the fish gate, from the Mishnah, destruction, anguish from the hills. Helilu. So we had this similar word right before this book, in the book of previous book of Nahum. Yoshvei hamachtesh. So those of you who live in the Machtesh, right? The Machtesh, the great, what's the call? You're going down south, right? The Machtesh Hagadol, what's it called? The crater, the Great Crater. If you know, if you're driving down towards Eilat, go through that whole area in Israel, right? Why should they be screaming out? Because all the traders have perished. All those who wave silver have been destroyed, and presumably they were either inhabitants of this area or they were trading through this area, which brought success to this area. I just looked inside. Rashi here says that it refers to Tveria. We think of the Machtesh, right? The Machtesh Hagadol. That's the great crater down in toward in the southern Israel, south of Beersheba. Continue verse 12. At that time, I'm going to search for Yerushalayim with lambs, and I'll punish those. Right, I will punish those who continue to be bad, and those even those who don't do anything good. Their wealth will be plundered, their homes laid waste. They will build houses and not dwell in them, plant vineyards and not drink their wine. We've seen that idea numerous times through the later prophets. This idea of, right, you put in all your efforts, you plant your fruit, you build your house, but you will not enjoy the spoils. When you say the spoils, you will not enjoy the fruit of your labor. Karov Yom Adonai Agadol. Karov u'maher ma'od. Kol Yom Adonai mar tzorach sham gibor. The day of God is approaching. It's coming quickly. Watch for the day of God, because it will be bitter. It will be destructive. The gibor, the strong ones, the mighty ones will cry out. Yom evra hayomahu yom tzara u'mitzuka yom sho'ah u'mish sho'ah yom choshech v'afela yom anan va'arafel. The day of wrath, the day of trouble, of distress, of calamity, of destruction, of darkness, of gloom, a densest of clouds. Probably one of the most, unfortunately, well-known words in Hebrew. Right, we have here. I don't know if this is the first place where it's mentioned. I don't remember seeing the words anywhere else. The word Shoah, right? When we talk about, of course, the Holocaust in Hebrew, the Shoah. Right, that's the day. I wish the Shoah was only one day. Yom Shofar Tural Ha'arim Habetzurot Ve'al Pinot Hagvot. It's a day when horns will be blasted, alarms will go off against the towns that are fortified and on the hill, the fortresses. On top of the hills, right? Because the enemy is coming. I'll bring distress to the people. They will walk like blind men because they sinned against God. Their blood will be spilled like dust, and their fat like dung. Even their silver and their gold will not be able to save them on the day of God's wrath, when God is so angry and full of rage. The whole land will be consumed because God will make a terrible end to all of the land. Who are we referring to here? What is this all about? What is this all destruction? It's not clear. And obviously, some of it seems to be towards the city of Yudah, the city of Yerushalayim, which doesn't come much after this. He's during the time of Yoshiyahu. Yoshua is the last great king. Yoshua was killed in battle against Pharaoh, who's trying to march through the territory of Yehudah to fight, I believe it was against the Syrians, if I'm correct. And then Yoshua doesn't want to let him go through there and goes to battle. Yoshua is killed, even though the Egyptians don't want to battle the Judeans. They're going to fight a real enemy, but then the Judeans fight them. But after this, there's it starts to lead into the time of real instability and destruction. It's not clear exactly who this stuff at this point is talking about. There are those who say it's basically we'll see over the next couple of days, though it's more illusions than that this is a time period about the destruction of the Assyrians, which is according to many why Nahum is right next to Habakkuk. In Nahum's book yesterday talked about the destruction of from a couple of days ago. Nahum talked about the destruction of Assyria that was going to come and how peace would come as a result, if you remember all the way back then to last week. For me, it's many hours and plane rides ago, so I'm not sure. But the book of Nahum was about peace that will come because this terrible enemy that threw away, that exiled the northern tribes, the kingdom of Ephraim, and almost destroyed all of Malchut Yehuda, the Davidic dynasty, the dynasty of Judah, how they would disappear, they would be defeated, and peace would come, and everybody would be happy. So it appears, and we'll see more in the next couple of days, that Habakkuk is talking about the same events, but Habakkuk has a very different reference point. He understands that, yes, the Assyrians will be killed, but it's not like they're going to be replaced by the Costa Ricans who don't have an army, or by the, I don't know, what's a peaceful country, the Swedes or whatever it might be. They're going to be replaced by a different set of marauders and a violent army that will take its place, and then more destruction will happen. So we'll see more about that in the next couple of days in this book. And thank you for your patience. Any questions? Because I'm ducked out here, at least in made it to a different room in this house. So if we are here tomorrow evening, I don't know. I'm on a whatever I'm told to do. That's what I'm going to try to do. But I will hopefully be there. And please feel free to text me, because I don't know.
Okay.
I usually get a alert on my phone about maybe 20 minutes before we start, 15 minutes, half an hour. And I know the time in Denver, I know the time in New York, I know the time if I'm in San Diego or Seattle or whatever, but I had no clue that they hadn't yet changed the clocks in Israel. So thank you, and feel free to please send me a message. You will not be taken in any way as being annoying if you send me a message tomorrow in advance. So
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
maybe my
Rabbi Mark.
volume was down. Maybe no, my volume is up. I don't know. Whatever it is. If you guys can hear me, that was great.
Yeah.
I'm happy we were able to get on today. Such a pleasant chapter. Hopefully tomorrow's will be even more pleasant.
Okay.
Good. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Have a good
Have a
one.
great
Thank
day.
you.
Thanks so much.
care.
Bye.
Okay. Bye. Bye, everyone.